don't have jet lag. I don't know how that worked, but I definitely want to show up for you all on Sundays. Excuse me. I did have a slight nap, which I think disrupted my whole flow, but welcome to my Trifecta Talks. And if you are an expat or aspiring to be an expat or aspiring to move abroad, this is next level in the sense of building a life in not just one country, but in many places. Growing up, I always felt that I moved around so much that I think your environment definitely plays a role in your ability to build the life you want. But why settle for one environment when you can live in multiple environments? So I'll just wait for some of you all just to check in and we can go from there. But it's lovely. Today was such beautiful weather. I was really looking forward to the cold. But here I am. It was about 90 degrees Celsius today. I went on my hot morning walk and it just got more beautiful throughout the day. So I guess fall in Belgrade is not as cold. Hi there. It's great. It was a beautiful day today to be out. And on my favorite street, Kneza Mihailova, or Kneza Mihaila, it was everyone. So many tourists, so many families. It was just so nice to be outside. I think it was like the perfect fall day. Great weather, not too hot, but sunny, not too cold. Just like wear a light jacket, have some coffee, meet up with friends, the vibe of the city, which I really missed while I was away in the Caribbean. And the colors of the changing the leaves was really, really nice. And I think that's what makes living a trifecta life really great. You know, you spend a month or two or three in one region of the world, have a home base, and come back to your home base where you're happy. Like, wow, I miss this. You don't have to just settle for one place. And since I'm from Massachusetts, born in New York and Massachusetts, I love fall. I love winter. So when people are saying, "Oh, I would love to live in paradise year round," I'm like, I can't. Paradise, I wouldn't be as productive. So with this talk, I want to talk about having multiple homes. It's not living as like a regular expat. I've done that for about 11 years, starting out as a student in grad school, then an English teacher, uh, through the citizenship by investment programs, because more Caribbean countries, there's specifically five: Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, and then Dominica. And I had the opportunity to go up to all five. And many people are living um, this trifecta life. Sometimes they just invest in property, others times they make in a donation to the government, but you have options. And for many people or families or investors, it's a plan B. But for those that do want to actually spend a couple of months a year in a country they have citizenship, have a home base, and then have a third or even fourth country where they just go on holidays or where they do their business, this talk is for you. So I want to say, if you're joining this live, please share below, where you're watching this from, and we can go forward. Let's see. I want to see the comments from my computer. I'm still getting used to doing lives on YouTube. I used to do a lot on TikTok, but I think here is the best place to build a community. So yes, feel free to share below where you're watching from. Yeah. Or not. Some people can be a bit shy. Okay, let's see. Here we go. All right, we can always just get into it. So basically, for the last month, I left Belgrade for the Caribbean. I have a new role as a spokeswoman for a marketing agency that helps people obtain a second citizenship. And the Caribbean, to my surprise, I don't know, is a really, really hot market for people to invest in a second citizenship. And it's usually through like 3 or 4 ways, depending on the country. It's either by making a government donation, or investing in real estate or through government bonds. And many of these applicants, they sometimes just don't visit the country. They want this as a plan B. This is part of their estate planning. So in countries like Grenada, they have St. George's University, which has an excellent medical school. So with children, with parents who have children that are university age, especially want to go to med school, that's a draw. If you are a real estate developer or you like to buy real estate, that's another avenue many people use for the Citizenship by Investment program. St. Kitts and Nevis is a really beautiful two-island nation that has a hot market. Again, never been to the Caribbean, never knew this, and I was able to spend time in each country. But overall, for that trip, it really taught me the world is really your marketplace. You don't have to settle for one location to build a life, one location to buy property, and especially with the internet today, to earn money. You know, people say earn money online, but why not invest in a market where they want foreigners, they welcome foreign investment? Thank you for, please like, and where you could, you know, spend a couple weeks or months a year in paradise. I would have to say out of all the 5 countries I've been to, I think each one is very unique. My last country was in Dominica, and that is known as the nature island of the Caribbean. And people go there to heal and to connect with nature. I had a wellness experience, and it would be amazing because they have the Citizenship by Investment program to have a space or country where you own like a bungalow or a villa or you have in bonds to go for a week or two throughout the year. So I think the conversations and movements we see of people who want to move abroad, it's usually as digital nomads, as remote workers, to volunteer. But there's a whole different world, which I was able to peek into, given my role, where people are buying property, investing, getting a second citizenship. And from last week's talk, I was actually in Dominica at this hotel called Jungle Bay. I made a YouTube video about it, so if you are not subscribed, you can see that's my latest video of this very beautiful, very green property. And there were so many Americans and Europeans and Canadians and people from everywhere that just came there for a holiday and to heal. So that property has approved properties for the Citizenship by Investment program, and people are living their best life. These days, peace is a new luxury. Your health and wellness are in, and it was just such a healing journey being there in Dominica for about a week. And I was just like, I have to share this message with more people. We need a whole community around this of people who want to live a similar lifestyle. And coming back to Belgrade, happily, just kind of, I don't say rewired my nervous system, but really helped me expand. If you don't know, I'm Blair in Belgrade. I talk about expat life here. I ask questions and share my observations about Serbia. I share, different venues and restaurants and lounges and clubs and events that I go to. But I do have bigger aspirations. And I think it's important to not settle in one place. Like, I love Serbia. It's great. I just have bigger ambitions. And Serbia will be my home base. So if you have a home base and you're thinking, where else can I live a great life? Where else can I maybe own property? This talk is for you. So for those that are here, feel free to share below where you're watching from. And do you have any aspirations to live a trifecta lifestyle? Or in the replay, if you're going to watch this from the replay, still, I will read all your comments and answer, my advice when it comes to citizenship by investment in the Caribbean. And also, if you're interested in the African continent, September, I was in Sao Tome and Principe. Most people don't know where it is. Don't worry. When I was pitched this idea, I didn't know, but it's in the coast of West Africa and the coast of Guinea. It's a former Portuguese colony and very developed. They developed the first citizenship by investment program on the African continent. And I was on the ground representing my client. And there's a lot of potential, I've met a lot of good people, kind people, and there's a lot of property to buy. So if you don't want to be in the Caribbean, there's the African continent. Botswana also launched a new citizenship by investment program that'll be launched, officially open next year. So I believe in every region of the world. In Asia, I think only Cambodia is the only Asian country where you can secure a second citizenship. But most Asian countries you can get the permanent residency. I used to live in Singapore and Thailand. They have their own residency programs. Latin America also has residency programs. Europe and the EU also has, or in the past have had more golden visa programs or residency programs, but they're pushing back on this. So there are many, almost every continent except Antarctica. If you are looking to get a second citizenship or get a residency, it's possible, absolutely possible. So please the live if you're watching. Liking definitely makes a difference. It helps the algorithm push this live. And again, feel free to share where you're watching from. Definitely want to have a conversation. Last week was a really, really fun talk, as many people had questions about, for example, the Caribbean and EU, because I know for many Americans, we love to go to Portugal or to Spain, France. Every market has a popularity that draws people. So if you're drawn, if you're drawn to go to a place, share below and I can share some insight to direct you where to build this lifestyle. Everyone is so quiet. It reminds me when I was an English teacher, and at least at first my students were very shy, but I won't bite. Okay. So interesting. I can't see the comments below. Okay, I do see here. Okay. It's not so clear when I'm looking for my computer. Okay. Well, I'll share. I'm based in Serbia, and I've lived in Belgrade for about 3.5 years. Serbia does not have a golden visa or a citizenship by investment program, but people can apply for residency. You can apply for citizenship after a certain amount of years. For me, I started my business, ABC Experiences and Events, and I built this brand, and now hopefully this community to not only to share how lovely and amazing Serbia is to live in, but to share with the world that, especially for Americans, if you want a bigger and better life, a higher quality of life, we know that everything is just very expensive in the US. Everything. And you don't see where your money is going with how expensive things are. Let me know if my camera's clear, because it doesn't look so clear. Maybe I should stop moving. Okay. Yeah, so everything's very expensive in the US. And if you work hard for your money and you don't see that where it's going, whether it's in your community or in your quality of life or your quality of your children's education, or if you can afford to retire, many people are packing their bags and leaving. And part of my business is to provide relocations to Serbia. I usually help people that want to start a business, open up a business. I had an American Serbian client who moved back to Serbia after 20 years. So there are options. I think it's important to understand that you have options. Everything is not set in sealed. I mean, if we have the ability to move trees or buildings, you have the ability to get up and move. Thank you for liking. So with the Trifecta Lifestyle, the first start is to have a home base. And for many, that's usually a home base in a country where your dollars or euros or pounds goes a lot further. And while Serbia is not cheap as it was, picture quality, a bit blurry. I'm sorry, let me is it blurry? Let me, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna like maybe wipe the screen. Okay. Don't mind my blanket. I don't know why is it blurry. Let's see. Okay. Is that better? Let me know if my screen is better. I don't know why is it so blurry. It shouldn't be blurry. Are we better? Is the screen better? Because I have good internet. Yes, it's a bit better. Okay. Maybe I should just like not move. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna try my best. Everything is adjusting, especially I had to go to Yedel today to pay my internet for some reason. I mean, Serbia has really good internet, I'll have to say that. And there's free Wi-Fi in certain pockets of the city center. So this is what I tell my clients. As a tourist, or even if you're long-term resident, you can find fast, high-speed internet. But for some reason, my screen is just being very blurry, and I have excellent home internet, so I don't know why is it being blurry. This is not good. Yeah, I can see that is it still blurry? Or maybe there's like a lag? I don't know. This is not good if it's still blurry. Okay, tell me if it's better. Okay, we'll continue. I guess you just have to listen to my lovely voice. Maybe it's the focus. Well, I'm using the front of my camera, which I usually do for my lives. So I don't know why the focus is, okay, I'm gonna try not to move so much. Maybe that'll make a difference. Okay, no moving so much. Okay, so where was I? Internet in Belgrade, really great. Yeah, so when you're choosing a country as a home base, I always recommend to choose some place where your dollars or euros or pounds go far. Don't be so sure. Okay, thank you. And Belgrade has been that for me, because most of what I earn is from outside of Serbia. When I came first in 2022, I organized these afternoon tea parties, which was lovely, but that is not a big money earner. More so B2B relocation services and providing services to foreigners. That has been key. So that's one. And second thing is, if you're going to move abroad and create a home base, I always recommend people to start a business. So thank you. I just actually trimmed my hair, and I oiled it, because Sundays, like for many people, is a reset day. And interestingly, I have saved so much money over the years by doing my hair. Now, I know not everyone has a skill set to do their hair, but doing my hair, washing, maintaining, trimming, I think over the last, and I have my hair like this for 15 years, has saved me like over 100,000 euros. Because if anybody knows, having healthy long hair is very expensive. Very. So that is one of the money savers, I have to say. So I appreciate the comment. So for number 2, starting your own business. I know a lot of Americans or other people, like, how are you going to earn money abroad, right? If you're going to live abroad in one place, let alone 2 or 3, how are you going to earn money? It's always best to have your own business. Do not rely on the local economy to give you a job. Especially these days where, yes, you can work remotely, but especially if you're going to work for an American company, it can become very tricky with taxes. If you do start up, and it could be any type of company where you can at least bill people in dollars or euros or pounds and bring that outside money in while you're abroad, that is the best way. But do not come looking for a job. Unless you're an English teacher, because that's what I started out as when I got my first big girl job at 25. Um, have your own business. It is hyper competitive in a country, especially if you want to live in a Spain or Portugal or France and you don't speak the language expecting a job. And many of these jobs do not pay like the US companies. So you're not going to earn as much, but at the same time, you have the universal services like healthcare and time off to enjoy your money. So I tell my clients, and I only work with people that start their own businesses. And next is you have to see if a country is a right fit. While for me and others that want to live this lifestyle of multiple living, some countries you have to see what can you live without or what makes you comfortable. When I was in the Caribbean, for example, you need a car. That is one clear fact I've learned, that if I were to move there and I plan to do some work there for a couple months of the year, I would definitely get a driver, because at least in Belgrade and many European cities, it is walkable. You don't need a car. You can rely on public transportation or you can walk everywhere. But in the Caribbean, you need a car, and I don't want to drive. And not having a car, that's another fact, has saved a lot of money. I can't believe my video is so blurry. Over the years. By not having a car, so you don't have to pay for gas, you don't have to pay for insurance, you don't have to pay for maintenance, and other fees, saves you money. But you have to make sure, even if you live there in a country for a month, 2 months, 3 months, what can you live or live without? And that would be an expense if I were to live in the Caribbean, or if you want to live in the Caribbean. Many of these places do not have good sidewalks. They don't have reliable transportation. You're gonna have to rent a car. So when I in 2026 moving forward, definitely will have to get a driver. It is literally impossible to be in the Caribbean as a foreigner and not have a car and get around. Another thing, weather. Not a lot of people don't like winter, which is interesting. I don't know why. Like, I think winter is so nice, and fall, I can't personally do paradise all the time. So if you're the opposite of me, you love hot weather, good for you. If you want year round, great for you. Personally, I can't do summer all the time. I did that when I lived in Singapore, I did that in Bangkok. It's not for me. So I always recommend, if you're gonna build a second or third home base, visit, go and see, can I do this, for a couple months of the year, and it's not going to affect me. I had a friend that's a diplomat, and he spent time in Qatar for work, and he had to leave his post because the weather was so severe. It was just not good for his skin. He couldn't handle it, even though everything indoors is AC. It was just not good for him. So you can have the perfect job, you can have all the structures, the helpers, the drivers, everything. But if your health is compromising your skin, for example, because of the weather, a place is just not right for you. So I think with this lifestyle, you have to figure out, okay, what can I deal with for 3 months? And you have to get to know yourself. And please as we're watching, do I need a car? Can I get around easily? How's the weather? Is the weather good for me? Language, that's another thing. At least in the Caribbean, most places people speak English. Many of the islands I went to are former British colonies, so everyone spoke English, which is great because a lot of Americans were quite lazy when it comes to learning a different language. So that's a huge advantage, I think, that draws many people to the Caribbean. Versus for Americans that want to live in Spain or Portugal or France, you really need to learn the local languages. And there's a lot of resistance from what I read from people that live in Portugal, that the Americans that have settled there, they just don't want to learn Portuguese. Portuguese is actually quite a difficult language. I've been to Lisbon and I was just like, I don't want to learn Portuguese. This is just not right for me. So I want to make sure you live in a country where you'll be comfortable learning language. And I will go back to learning Serbian. I used to do that on TikTok and stream that. I will stream that here. Next couple of weeks, I have to focus on getting everything delivered. So, language is important. Can you live comfortably for 3 months where you may or may not know the language or have to invest in getting to learn the language? That's another factor. Um, Four is when it comes to your health. Can you live a healthy lifestyle? We know these days, Americans know very well, like your health is everything. So you want to live in a place where there's high quality health care, where there are hospitals or clinics, have insurance just in case something may happen. Um, can you eat good food? In the Caribbean, everything was so fresh, so nice. Like the Caribbean, I'll give it that. Like a lot of good food. Um, so you want to be able to live a healthy, full life. You don't want to get caught up with, it's easy to never have to cook. And in some places, you can hire a cook because it is an affordable thing. Why not? When I lived in Bangkok, for example, some people you don't have to ever cook because you can always find a place to get your breakfast, a place to get your lunch, a place to get your snacks in between, a place to get dinner, a place to get supper. But that could add weight over time. So just to be careful, like if you love the food so much that you can see the pounds coming on. So staying healthy, and that also includes exercise or doing like a lot of activities. For example, in St. Kitts in Nevis, they have a lot of golf courses. I haven't played golf in many years. Yeah, I found myself playing golf, and it was really nice. And I met other expats who children are in sailing classes, they play golf, there's a lot of water sports you can do. So you want to be in a location where you can be physically active. And if you're not into activities, the gym. Throughout my whole entire trip, I went to the gym, started lifting weights. These days, you have to be healthy. You have to be proactive about your health because, God forbid, if something happens, who's going to take care of you? And even if you can hire help, that's an expense. So, which leads to my next point about keeping your expenses, like maintaining your expenses. Aside, if you're even if you're going to buy a property and you have a management company managing your property, what are going to be your core expenses other than rent or mortgage, taxes, getting around. So you have a driver or you have a car, food. In many places you can eat out or you can cook. Beauty for women, going to a hair salon. God knows how hard it is to find a hair salon. Luckily for me, I do my hair. Done my hair all the time over the years. And as I said earlier, it has saved me a tremendous amount of money. But for activities, for example, I like to do Pilates, I like to do yoga, I started adult ballet. So where is your money going? You want to make sure you have money coming in, but you have to observe where's your money going out. So if you live in a place that is a bit expensive, even if it's for 3 months, you want to see like, okay, what are ways that I can cut down or what are ways I can earn more to cover my expenses? All right, everyone, do we have any questions? Please leave your questions in the comments below. Please like, it helps. I've been really fortunate to live in a lot of places. I've been to New Zealand, I spent time in Japan and Korea, China. I'm happy to answer, because I know a lot more people want to live in Asia. Asia's fascinating. It will be good. Thank you, Hard Metal. That is so kind of you. I'm trying my best as YouTube live and building a community on YouTube is not easy. So again, I think as I do this every Sunday, I'll get better at it, and I want more people to, engage and ask questions. So I just think that in this world we live in, you don't have to settle for just one country. And I know many Serbs, for example, here, they're happy that I speak so positively about Serbia and how much I love living here. But there are many people that are leaving. There are many people that are leaving for opportunities so they can earn more money. They go to other parts in the EU, like Germany to work, or Spain or the UK to work. Many people go to Dubai, Qatar, Canada, or the US. So I get it. If people want to leave Serbia, for example, to earn more, because it is really difficult to earn a lot of money here. And many people have to live with their extended family or close by. So I get it. And I support, going where you could not only live your best life, but where you can earn good money. I just think that for the community I want to build, I want people to know they have options, good options. And there's nothing like moving to a country and getting the same rights and benefits that, say, a citizen would have. Because as a foreigner, you're going to always have the whole visa run issues, making sure the government knows, because I have to have a white paper anytime I leave the country. They have to know. Reapplying for your temporary residency. So it's kind of a hassle, right? So I think that the world is our oyster. The internet has made the world smaller. We all need to know that we have options. And you shouldn't be stuck in where you're born to determine where you want to go. I definitely made a lot of changes in my life and been fortunate to be met to travel to many countries. So this is not the stop. This is not the final destination. There's a big world out there. So, okay. I'm going to have to look into the software of why my camera is getting blurred in and out. Okay. I'm staying in Serbia. I have to be clear. I am staying in Belgrade. Belgrade is my base in Europe. Belgrade is where I have my business. I have my friends. I have a community. I love the winter here, but I do plan, especially next year, to spend more time outside. But I'm not giving up, especially my beautiful place in Belgrade. There's options. And I think for every expat, after the 3-year mark, it kind of gets anxious. As okay, can I stay here long term? Can I make this my home? This is my home, but I want to have more than one home. So that's not appropriate. Let's not be here. Yes, I've been to Novi Sad, and it's a lovely city, much smaller city. And you're welcome, of course. I took the train down there before. Twice. I've been to Novi Sad twice. I had a friend drive me there, and we went to, especially this time of the year, we went to, her family owned a hotel, so I went to their hotel. We ate at a restaurant. So I've been to Novi Sad. I just love the big city. I'm a big city girl. But at the same time, when I was in the Caribbean, cities in paradise is very different than cities here. So I like a mix of both. And I think that's another good point. Are you a city person? Do you like to be in the countryside? Do you want to live in a more rural area? I know it's good, at least for me, to have a bit of mix of, okay, city, somewhat country, but then you're going to need a car. Big cities, I used to live in Shanghai and also in Bangkok, which has 10 million plus people. I don't mind it. I think I like a little city with a little chaos. I spent time in Singapore and Tokyo, and it's just everything was so perfectly neat. It was a bit overwhelming, but I am a city girl, and you have to understand, do you like the city? Do you like small towns? Some people like the countryside, they want peace, and it depends on, and will lead to my next point, the lifestyle. I'm a single, child-free woman, no plants, no pets, very simple. And for me, it's easy to move. But if you're married with a family, maybe city life is not for you. Maybe you want to live in the suburbs. Maybe you're a retirement age and you want something much more quieter. So you want to live on the countryside. So I think in many countries, you can get a bit of mix of both. Your home base can be a city or like countryside, and then your second base could be, get a condo in a big city. But you have to know what works for you. I'm at a stage of life where I love the cities. It's easy to move. And if you do have pets, that's another thing. Because I know more people are traveling with their pets. You have to, in some countries, have a lot of rules when it comes to vaccinations and, what type of pets you can bring in. So just be aware, especially if you're having pets. Like, that's going to be additional cost. And it might take like a couple of weeks or months to even get your pet into the country. So actually, that's the reason why I don't have pets. I do not want the expense, and I travel a lot, so I don't want that responsibility. So not even a plant. I buy fresh flowers. Like I bought some fresh flowers today, and that's the thing that can take care of. So yeah, this is nice. This is very, very nice. What else do you have questions when it comes to building a trifecta life? I know if you are of a certain religious background, like me, like you want to make sure you have some kind of community that you could pray in or be in community with. Because, we're humans, we're all sociable creatures. If you're in a foreign land, you want to be able to commune with some people. So that's something also to consider. Miss Prime, do you miss the States? I mean, are you back sick? I'm sick even when you're... No, I don't miss the States at all. If we can see what's going on in the States, and there's always something on every hour, I have no desire to go back to the States, and I do not miss anything about the States. Nothing. Nothing is there for me. I'll be that frank. Did you get any ideas of what to do business there in the Caribbean? I actually have a few ideas. If you know me, I carry like a sun umbrella, like a parasol, because it is so sunny. Even here in Europe, I do sell my sun umbrellas and UV apparel online. I would definitely sell, or maybe even start the business there, because summer here is only for a season. I would do my business officially there for my UV apparel and sun accessories. And I did see people carry umbrellas, so I was just like, okay, there's clearly a demand. It's sunny all the time. Why not? There's a lot of opportunities to do business in the Caribbean. Real estate being the number one. Opening up some type of hotel or outdoor adventure, because I went snorkeling, which was really fun. And I met some other Americans or other foreigners that started like an outdoor adventure business and hotels. So there's a lot. I think at the end of the day, we all have to be some type of entrepreneur to make our own type of living. So in the Caribbean, I think there's a lot of opportunity for me to start like a different business. Yeah. This blanket, if you recognize, is like, I got this in Kenya. This is known, like the Maasai people have this type of pattern of blanket, because I spent some time in the luxury safari market, and I've had this for like almost 3 years. And even something as simple as, because for example, Chinese people, they always open like these markets, these stores that sell like all types of things. I think there's a lot of opportunities to open a business selling like different nicks and knacks, and for me that would be sun umbrellas and UV apparel. By the way, which kind of music do you like? Really depends on my mood. I think I may should do a live question of Q&A, because people don't seem to want to ask about the sole citizenship live investment, which is fine. It depends on my mood. I like classical music. I like pop music. I do like Serbian music, because I'm here, and when I go to clubs, I love to dance. So music that I can dance to. But when I'm studying or working, just classical music. Yeah. Okay, my camera is blurry. Blurry. Okay, great. So I think I'm gonna end this live soon. You didn't know I was going live. I don't know. I think you have to turn on the notifications. So, okay, we'll extend it. Yes, I'm live today. Trifecta Lifestyle. I am back in Belgrade. I announced it. I'm so happy, everyone. It's been so warm and saying they're happy to see me. The weather today has been literally amazing. I didn't think it was gonna be that warm, but it has been really amazing today. Like 19 degrees. Everyone was outdoors at the parks, walking around, the coffee shops. Every place was just full of life. So it was nice. It was nice. So I am live talking about the trifecta lifestyle and how Belgrade is my home base. But there's more. There's definitely a big wild world out there. I've been able to travel it. So, oh, you can keep on asking questions. Have I been to Sweden or Gothenburg? I've never been to Sweden. I've been to the neighbor Finland, but never Sweden. Okay, I'm a see. There's a question. I'm a what do I like about being a global citizen? I think the freedom of movement, the freedom to see like you have options. I think at some age, I'm 35. Many people after a certain age just kind of gives up and settles and like, okay, this is it. But there is so much out there in the world. So being able to hop, a couple months here, a couple months there, a couple months there, you could live your best life in a few months in one country, earn really good money in another country. In another country, you can just relax and focus on your wellness. So being a global citizen, it opens a world of opportunities for earning, for your wellness, and for your quality of life. Like here in Belgrade, and I was featured in CNBC. Hi, Ron. People saw that, as a business, I don't earn tens of thousands of euros a month, which I hope to, but my quality of life is so much better here than if I was back home in the States, because it's just so expensive to exist in America. It is so expensive. Rent is expensive. Having a car is expensive. Many people are living paycheck to paycheck because after all the bills are paid, there's nothing left over. I mean, people can barely buy their groceries. Life in the US is very expensive. So you're working so hard and you can't even enjoy your money. And even if you earn a lot of money, it's just like you're working so much, so it's just like, where's the time? So being a global citizen, you can see your options. And a lot of Americans just don't know how bad they have it because the society is so designed to normalize burnout, to normalize working more than one job just to make it through. Normalize your stress of just having to work. Americans, we very much identify with what we do for work. A lot of us, unfortunately, don't really mix and mingle with other classes of people because where you live, where you work, really determine who your friends are, who you hang out with, who you interact with. So I don't want to live in a society like that. It's just a society that takes and takes and takes. So yeah, I know many people still aspire to be in the US, to go to the US, but it's not a dream country for most people. Not even for some of the highest earners. I think your net worth, even if it's over $1 million, you need to be at least maybe 10 million or more just to maybe live comfortably. And even at that level, you have the stress of, people trying to take from you, your expenses. If you have children, private schools, extracurricular activities. So it's just never an ending hamster wheel. Yes, thank you, Iman. It's a hamster. Serbia, location you lived. Okay, what I like most about Serbia is the people. Serbian people are friendly, they're open, they're honest. You know where you stand with people. People talk to each other, they socialize with each other. America, we don't talk to each other. That's why everyone's just so afraid of each other, because we don't talk to each other. We always think someone's trying to take what we have. It's just a society that is everyone's afraid of each other, and it's designed like that. So the people here are kind. Every place that I lived in, I would say Serbia is my favorite because of the people. It really is. Yes, have a better quality of life. Nightlife here is great. I would say that's my second. The nightlife here is great because not just nightlife, going for lunch, going for dinner, going out for coffee. There's a place for everyone and for every budget. If you want to spend a lot of money and be bougie like me, go to Bristol Hotel or the St. Regis. If you want to go to some really, really cheap place, there's many on Kneza Mihailova. So there are many places where you can just live your best life, catch up with friends. People take the weekends off, and I think that's why I'm just, a couple of weeks ago, I was hesitant to leave because I'm like, I have almost everything here. It's just very difficult to earn a lot of good money here. That's the only thing Serbia is missing. Like, to really scale and become a millionaire, it's very difficult to do that in this country. Hence why I'm like saying, okay, I need to stretch my wings, be a global citizen, because I'm not going to become a millionaire here. But I can live here, live a good life. But earning a lot, not going to happen here. So, like this video if you haven't already. It helps push the video so we can get more views. So, sorry if my video keeps on getting blurry. I don't know why. Strange. So, you guys from Serbia, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I want to end here because I need to make some dinner. I made dinner earlier, but I'm still hungry. I made lentils. And apparently that's just not enough. So, I hope you all tune in. Subscribe if you haven't already for the replay. Leave your questions below. To next Sunday. Maybe I'll do it like 7, but 8 o'clock seems a bit late. So, like my videos, watch my last video from Dominica at Jungle Bay so you can see like what I'm talking about, like how beautiful and the nature is in Dominica. And I will see you, I think maybe Tuesday and Friday. I'll have a video, and then I'm going to start live streaming practicing my Cyrillic because people keep on asking me like, when are you going to get back to Serbian? So I will live stream practice writing Cyrillic. So to just choose a day when I'm going to do that. So okay, have a good night, everyone. Thank you for watching.